LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Day 8 of Washington Redskins training camp here in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Drew Willingham of the LegacyMaker Sports Network, along with Robb Johnson. Robb, what are your takeaways from today's training camp?
Nothing much. From what I saw, defense was out there. They were doing some drills. I saw some good plays from Dwayne Haskins. I saw some good plays from Case Keenum. The receivers looked kind of good. I really like the receiver Sims. I think that he's going to be a player if they can get him on the field. And I'm just really intrigued by what they're doing overall and just the intensity of what their practices are going through right now.
With now being the 8th day of training camp, we have seen a few things. There's been some drama with the Trent Williams situation. There's been some injuries that are happening. With the Montez Sweat injury, what are your thoughts about the Montez Sweat injury?
Well, if you remember last week, what I did was I actually texted you and said this does not look good whatsoever. And I feel bad because he went through so much in college and he's been through so much overall that I just had a bad feeling about the injury, and it's looking like from some sources that he's questionable for week 1, which is a shame because he's doing so well in training camp, and I really respect what he's done so far as a player. So what I want to see is him get back healthy, and make sure he's fine, so we don't have the same repeat that we had from last year, where all valuable players are getting hurt for the Washington Redskins.
This is true. My big thing is just learning from the mismanaging of injuries from the past. Let's not let us see it happen again with Sweat happening like that. We don't want to see that happening again. So let's hope that they play this smart with him. Let's hope that Trent Williams, if he is traded, doesn't go to New England. Let's hope that they make the smart moves, and if they do let go of him, that they actually get back things in return that can supplement the trade.
Let me ask you this. On the Trent Williams front, in my opinion, right now, I believe we have a dominant pass rush. However, let's say it gets even more potent. Let's say you have a trade with the Houston Texans. You include a first-round pick. You want a first-round pick, but you get the Jadeveon Clowney. Would that be something that would intrigue you?
Part of me likes it, but it all depends on if he would fit well within the Redskins' defensive scheme or not. That's only time would tell. But if they can get some picks in return, because Trent Williams has been a key player of the Washington Redskins offense for years, even before Jadeveon Clowney came out into the NFL. He hasn't really had much success as much as Trent Williams has, so I'm a little skeptical on it. I really hate to see him go, but if you're unhappy, you've got to go somewhere else.
However, Drew, when you look at this football team, you have to be honest with yourself. This is 70-30, run the football. This is defense all day. If their defense struggles, they're going to get beaten by a lot every game. Their defense has got to come to play. And I'm going to say this. I've seen some great things from Josh Norman. I've also seen Josh Norman get beat. But he got beat for a reason. This is a talented group of wide receivers here for the Washington Redskins. McLaren, former Ohio State player, rookie, Jay Quimby has told me a lot about this guy. I've gone back and watched his tape. Go back, ladies and gentlemen, watch his tape. Go back and watch some of the tape of some of these other receivers. They have talent. And I'm going to say this right now. If I'm the New England Patriots, and I know this is a bold statement, if I'm the New England Patriots, if I'm going to trade for Trent Williams, I also want the Redskins to include Dotson. I believe Dotson going to a Tom Brady would be absolutely excellent. I think he's going to have a good season. I believe that Trey is going to have a good season. I believe that this Redskins team will feed off the running game, and they should have a pretty good season if it's managed well. And that's the key, everybody, if the Washington Redskins situation is managed correctly.
Football-wise, that trade actually does sound pretty intriguing. But as a fan of the team, I hope that does not happen because I don't want to see Josh Dotson go. He's looked very good here at camp along with the other wide receivers, and I'm excited to see what they can do this year. But losing Trent Williams, though, who's been a cornerstone of the Redskins' offense as far as the O-line goes, it would be a big loss for keeping the quarterbacks upright, for keeping, clearing lanes for the running backs to go. It's going to be a tough loss to see him go in the event that happens.
But when you're talking about a 30, 31-year-old left tackle, when you're talking about getting picks back, you've got to be able to build for the future. That's been Redskins' problem. Bringing in high-priced free agents, keeping guys. You got to be able to build for the future. You got to be able to have better drafts. They had a great draft this past draft. You got to be able to have those better drafts, continue to bring in better people, and I feel as if you're the Washington Redskins, you have been able to develop offensive linemen. So if you can develop offensive linemen, it shouldn't matter because you look at the guys over time that they've been able to develop. So you go in the draft, you make another offensive left tackle, et cetera, et cetera. The Redskins have done a good job, like I said, developing and make sure guys are in the right positions, and guys have gotten paid. If Trent doesn't want to be here, it's for a reason. He loves this franchise from what I've seen. He gets along with the guys. But when you actually go back and you look at the press conference the other day, when they were introducing a new left tackle, it was very ominous that he's gone. I mean, he's gone.
It's a sad, sad day when we have to come to that realization that one of your star players on your team has to depart. But with that said, let's take you to the highlights of the rest of training camp. How does practice feel out there today? You guys excited to be out there next Thursday against the Browns?
Absolutely. It's kind of crazy. Game's already, I think it's 4 days away now. Mm-hmm. So starting to get ready for it, getting prepared.
Yeah, this year's gone by fast, getting excited about football. Finally here, the wait is over. So
Absolutely.
So what were your biggest takeaways so far from being in Richmond and being out here on the field?
I would say, I think we got a good team. I'm excited. Got a lot of guys out there showing a lot of good things. So I'm excited to get out there with the guys and go play some games now. Let's start winning some games, playing other people.
Well, we're excited for you. Appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, man.
Everybody wants the opportunity. How competitive is the meeting rooms and also the practices so far?
Oh, man, it's always been competitive. That's what you have to bring, that mentality every single day. You just have to bring it. Just make sure you stay consistent. Everybody's been consistent. Everybody's been doing good. It's camp, so, it's going to be hard and it's going to be tough. So, everybody's doing a good job, fighting through it. And, it's just that's how it is, man, every single camp.
What do you like so far about the quarterback battle?
Man, they've been doing really good, man. It's just, a lot of things been thrown at them, man, and they've been handling it. I think, all the quarterbacks been doing great, as far as, getting the calls and, making throws. They've been great.
How much more comfortable are you with this system?
I don't feel like comfort is a word to use because I feel like even if you've been in the system, you still have to study. There's always something that you always have to study, little things, the details of, what we have to do.
What's the biggest detail you're still working on this camp?
Just making sure I stay in my playbook, man. That's, I can't get into depth, in the playbook, but, making sure I stay in the playbook and knowing, make sure that I know what to do when I'm out there.
Is the biggest thing like the terminology, trying to remember where everybody needs to be on a certain play?
Yeah, that's probably the toughest part about it. But other than that, if you study, it won't be hard at all.
Are you guys ready for that first preseason game? Stop beating up on each other and beat somebody else up with a different color jersey?
Oh yeah, man. It's always fun. Just go out there and compete. Just to have fun and just get the game like feeling.
How do you size up the quarterbacks so far? I mean, you're obviously catching passes from all these guys. What do you think of them? And I guess, what are your impressions of Case Keenum, a guy who you've seen around the league but are catching passes from for the first time?
I think Haskins is young. He's doing well. They're finding ways to find him comfortable back there and letting his arm loose a little bit. I think Case is a good vet that we have. He's trying to find his leadership role as he's grasping the playbook. And you got Colt, who's been in the offense for a while. He knows the offense. He has really good leadership qualities, and I think that they have a healthy competition going on.
A speed guy, you have some knowledge that you can give to Terry. What have you talked to him about, and what have you seen from him so far through camp?
I just like his attitude every day, the way he approaches the game. We all got things that we're dealing with off the field, and we got things that we're dealing with, as far as our receiver room, as far as the competition that's going on there. But just being a speed guy, he's learning that he can't run 100 miles per hour all the time. Some routes don't require that. And, him learning how to control the speed is going to help him at this level, especially if you're going to be in all game, all 4 quarters. You got to be able to deliver the illusion of speed, to a defender to get him to open up, to make your route running a little bit easier. And, he takes a lot from what I do, and he listens a lot. And then we have a 7th overall pick who's coaching him, Ike Hilliard. So I think that Terry's going to be great here.
Can you compete and mentor at the same time?
Yeah, I think it's easy for me. I think it is easy for me because I was a rookie before, and I went into a situation where, all 3 of those receivers had 3 months ago, had all scored in the Super Bowl, and I was the Seattle's first pick, so it was kind of weird. And I went into a situation where it was all competition. Nobody really introduced themselves to me. Nobody took me under their wing, so to speak. And I just wanted to be the guy who attached to the rookies. I wanted to be the guy who took them to go eat. I wanted to be the guy who, was willing to sit down and sit in the playbook with them, because I wish I would have had that. And, it's great. That's why we have good chemistry in our room. It's a competition going on, but you wouldn't think it because we all relate to each other well because we're open to it.
Coaches are going to be able to challenge pass interference, offensive and defensive, this year. Is that going to affect you at all in terms of thinking about it more, or even lobbying Jay to say, hey, I was pushed on that play, or something to have an impact on that?
I think the rules changes. It's in the receiver's favor, honestly. I know receivers don't look for contact when we're running routes, so I don't think DBs should look for contact when they're defending routes. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I think those foul calls are fair. As far as when the ball is in the air, I think it's 50-50. Everybody should be entitled to going for the ball. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I won't be pushing Jay more as far as, to tell the refs to see different things. I think that as a deep route runner, man, we should either have a completion or a penalty anyway.
Did you learn anything about yourself, either physically or mentally, after the early shoulder injury and then ending up on IR last year?
Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned how much I love this game. I learned how much I knew our offense needed me. I think that's why I pushed through it so long. Before I played in those 7 games, my shoulder was already broken. My shoulder was already torn. So I think that I just wanted to show them what I was here for. I was here to bring a level of, some level of competition at a high level. I've been to the playoffs. I've been to the Super Bowl. I've played through injury. I've worked with guys who played through injury through playoffs and through Super Bowls. So I just wanted to play as long as I could without, hurting the offense and hurting our team. And then I didn't want to be hurt one season, push it too long, and then not be recovered from my surgery and be hurt for 2 seasons. That made no sense. So I think we timed it up well. I think it ended up working out.
LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network. Brought to you in part by DWillyMedia.com.